Hello, I'm Judy Stiles. Thank you for joining us this week on Newsmakers. Or for adults needing help in reading or math or other basic skills sometime to survive, there's an organization in town in the Joplin region to help out, Joplin NALA Read. That's the focus of our program today. Joining me, we have three representatives today from there. We have Wilson Mpele, Eleanor Travis, and Joan Donor. Thank you all for being here today.
Thanks, Judy.
And Joan, I guess I need to let the audience know that I'm familiar with NALA because I've been on your board for a number of years, so up front let people know that. But also, I think I'm going to share today with the community what NALA is doing. So I'm going to let you kind of start off with, people say, what is NALA? How do you explain that?
Well, I always start with our acronym, Judy, because really that best tells our story. NALA stands for Neighborhood Adult Literacy Action. And what we are is a community organization that is taking action to improve the self-sufficiency of families by helping them improve their essential skills, skills that give them access to a better life.
And so you're talking about reading and math and English as a second language, those types of things.
Yes, and we offer our services through three specific programs. We have adult literacy one-on-one tutoring and small group instruction. We also have English as a second language classes for students that are here from another country that want to improve their reading, writing, listening, or speaking. And we also do a family literacy outreach where we go out into the community and talk about the importance of reading and at the same time make people aware of our organization and the importance of literacy.
I know NALA has been around for a number of years. The people have probably heard of Joplin NALA, but it's since 1981?
1981.
So 35 years now,
yes.
Serving the Joplin region. And so serving a lot of people, and of course tutors play a key role, and Eleanor, you are a tutor at Joplin NALA.
Yes, I'm fortunate that I get to work with students from, sometimes I say around the globe. I never know from one day, from one class to the next, if they're going to be coming from Asia, from Africa, or from Mexico.
So really a diverse group of students.
Yes, very much
the organization. And Wilson, tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Wilson Mpele, and I'm from Africa, in Congo Brazzaville, because we have two Congo.
Right.
Congo, Republic of Congo and Democratic Republic of Congo. So I'm from Republic of Congo.
And
so I'm 20 years old, and I'm married.
And so you are utilizing NALA services.
Yes, I'm a student at NALA, and I heard about that by my wife, because sometime my mother-in-law used to come here for vacation in the United States, so she used to go to NALA. So when I moved here from Texas, my wife told me about, what about improving your English? So I know a good center for you, you can improve your English, and that's why
you're working with NALA.
Yes.
Well, Joan, a lot of people might be curious, how do students come to NALA?
Well, mostly I would say it's word of mouth, similar to Wilson's story. So we do a lot with literacy awareness. Newsmakers, for instance, is one of them. We do have our website. We do social media. We do flyers, and really go out into the community and let people know about our services. Also, we're located at 123 South Main Street, so a lot of people say they found us by just driving by and seeing our logo on the door. But I would say word of mouth is the number one way that students find out about our organization and the services that we offer.
Now, offering services, some of the people in the audience might be curious, well, is there a need for these types of services in our community? Tell me a little bit about the need side of our community.
Well, there are statistics out there that say that 14% of the adults in the United States over the age of 16 read below a 5th grade reading level, and another 29% read just slightly better. And also those that are among the lowest literacy rate have other effects. And those effects include the reliance on public assistance, low, they might be low income. Other statistics show that 75% of the population that is incarcerated are low literate or do not have a high school diploma. So those are some of the effects. When you look at how that translates to Jasper and Newton County, that is about 11 to 12,000 adults that probably could benefit from increasing their essential skills.
So when we're talking about literacy needs, we're not meaning that someone doesn't know how to read completely. It's just increasing your skills.
Correct. Yes, and Wilson, as far as English as a second language, as he improves his English skills, then there's probably some other things that you'll be able to do with that.
So that is your goal in going to NALA, that you want to improve your speaking skills?
Yes, my goal to going to NALA is to speak English very well at the end of the program, because we have, I can say, it's kind of beautiful program at NALA, and we have teachers, the native speakers that help us to learn and speak, to understand very well, and we have also this kind of program, like you can have your own tutor, like in math, like I do, because I used to work on math with the European system, so we call it metric system, right? Yes, metric system. So now I want to convert all my knowledge in American system. So I have this opportunity with NALA. They gave me like my own tutor, so I'm working with her, and thing is good.
So it's really important to be able to have that one-to-one tutoring, working with someone.
Yeah, because you can ask whatever question you want, and the tutor is there to help you.
So are you able to tailor the lessons or the courses for the students' needs?
Absolutely, yes. Whether it's small group instruction or one-on-one tutoring. When new students come to NALA, they do go through a student orientation. And at that orientation, we gather a little bit of information about their educational background, but also what their goals are and what they hope to accomplish as they improve their essential skills. We also give them an assessment to see what level they're at in whatever skill that they're working on, be that reading, English, writing, math. And so we can find out what resource material that we have that would best work with the student. But we don't stop there. So in Wilson's case, understanding the difference between the metric system and the standard units of measure was something that was very important. And so we could tailor lessons, or his tutor tailors lessons to help with that. We also encourage our students, if there's something that they are specifically wanting to work on, that they can bring in some of their own material too. They don't have to just work with the resources that we have. Students that are working on, we had a student with a cosmetology license working towards that, or certified med tech, whatever the case may be.
So they can learn the terminology they're going to be dealing with, or learn the language of the business and so forth. Right. Eleanor, tell me about being a tutor. How you're working with students at NALA. Is it a group situation, or do you do one-to-one?
It's group. I work with a group on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. I think the first word that comes to my mind is it's fun. I really enjoy each one of the students. They all bring something different to the class. And I don't know how many times I've said to them, wouldn't it be wonderful if the world could get along like we get along in this class?
So you have a lot of different nationalities represented?
Yes. And I learn a lot about their languages.
So do you find that helps in a group ESL type situation, that they're supporting each other and learning?
Oh, yes, indeed. I think so. I think so.
So they come in with different backgrounds, different experiences, but with a common goal of wanting to improve their English.
Improve the English.
So, now, the people who, it's hard to imagine, perhaps if you've grown up in the United States with English all around you, what it's like to come in knowing another language and having to learn English at an older age.
It would be hard, I think. We have a very difficult language. My background, everyone laughs when I say this, I have a degree in Latin.
So you knew the basics of the English language, right, way back to the beginning.
And Latin is incorporated into the English language. English is a difficult language to learn, very difficult. But amazingly, people do it.
And imagine they come into the classes with a hunger or a goal of wanting to
They
learn.
have a goal. Yes, I want to learn.
And go from there. So. And Joan, that's probably an important part, is the students putting out the effort and really wanting to improve through these classes.
Yes. And we do not charge for our services. And so when the students come, we explain to them what their responsibilities are as a student. And most of them are fully aware of that responsibility that they have, knowing that that's only going to help them improve and reach their goals. But we don't charge for our services, but there is a cost. Right. And we are a United Way agency. We get about 30% of our funding through the United Way, which is a community organization that looks at different programs in the community and says, okay, what programs are important to help our community?
Community as a whole, which pieces are important.
Yes.
Right.
And so we have been a United Way agency for a number of years. But again, there's 70% more resources that are needed to fulfill the budget. So we do have a couple of events that we do, fundraising events that we do each year, and we write grants and we get a lot of donations. And but our number one asset is our volunteer tutors. And if you just look at the time that volunteers are paid for the hours that they put in, our volunteers put in like $40,000 of in-kind donations,
giving their
each
time
year.
to help others, tying that together. And when you look at the community and people giving their time, do you have regular opportunities for new volunteers to come in to tutor? Or is that something for people?
Yes. So Eleanor, I don't know if you shared with how she ended up getting back into it as an educator, but after retiring, coming back, kind of back to education as a volunteer. But we do a tutor workshop twice a year, but we also have what we call a just-in-time training. So if a volunteer is interested and wants to find out more about the volunteer opportunities and what would be involved in becoming a tutor or an ESL instructor, then we invite them to get a hold of us either through our email or stop in or give us a call. And we'll sit down with them and talk to them a little bit about what the responsibilities are for a volunteer tutor and do a just-in-time training. And then when our regular workshop comes around, they can attend that as well.
So you don't necessarily have to have the education background to be a tutor.
No, we have a lot of various backgrounds, and it's just interesting the way that the pairing of students and tutors sometimes happens. So, for example, we have a retired nurse who was working one-on-one with a student that was working on getting her CMA, and through her tutor's experience and the student's needs, they brought the stethoscope in one day, and I got my blood pressure taken.
So they were doing the things you would be doing on the job.
Yeah. So it goes beyond just what we think of as the basics, but really with what the student needs, and the tutors and students really develop a unique relationship. I think that it's kind of a safe learning environment.
So supportive all the way around both sides. Well, I know you have some photos, and while we talk, we can let the audience view some of the pictures that you have and kind of describe what they're seeing. But NALA, as you mentioned, you're 123 Main Street. You're downtown, easy to find, right? As you go down Main Street. That's one of the questions a lot of people have is, where can I find you? So look for the front door with this logo on it.
Yes, yes. The two folks sitting behind the book, Joplin, NALA Reed, 123 South Main Street.
And of course, that explains Neighborhood Adult Literacy Action. Now, here we have a picture, it looks like a class working together.
Yes, this is one of our English as a Second Language classes in action. And I don't know what it is that they're studying there, but it looks like they're working very hard.
Yes. So Eleanor, this is the type of thing you would do with a group. You would be kind of implementing and talking and getting them interacting with each other.
Absolutely.
So they have papers and materials. You also have some books and materials that you use?
We have books that we use.
And we furnish the books. Here's a student and tutor working one-on-one together. This particular student is in the high school equivalency program, and she needed some extra help with her reading.
Right.
And so, as a matter of fact, the tutor is a graduate of Missouri Southern, and he has gone on to do some teaching out in Colorado, I believe. But
So someone giving their time after they
Right.
graduated from college, helping out and so forth. So you're able to, perhaps in her case, prepare them to go on to the next step of working toward her GED. Then.
right, and we look at these essential skills as building blocks to go on for whatever the student's goals might be. If it's continuing education or job advancement, you know, helping their child with homework, whatever the
Yes.
case may be, it's their steps and building blocks to get to the next level.
So Eleanor, do you see a lot of, maybe some of the students who come in, they have children?
Yes.
And they're saying,
Sometimes
I need
children come with them. And they're delightful. Have one young lady that comes with her mother frequently, and she's always telling her mother, it's this, it's this.
kind of a little support there among the generations. Oh my God. And Wilson, you mentioned your wife and family as well, so that played a key role in getting you involved in your family.
Very good. So I learn also with my wife at home. I used to speak. She used to speak English. It's better for me because it's like I'm working 2 times at
Good.
NALA and
Good,
at
good,
home.
good,
So just kind of bring your homework home and practice at home. Right.
And your son speaks English.
Yes,
Yes.
he speaks English very well,
Very well.
more than mine.
Did you find, is your son young and in school then? He brings things home and do you have to communicate with him that way?
Well, right now
He's preschool.
Preschool, okay,
Yes,
okay,
he's
yeah.
going to Dicker, so but he learned. I think that he learned at Dicker, and when he come home, he talks, and I used to learn things from him because
bet.
sometimes
Yes.
I can say wrong words, and he say, "No, you cannot say like that." Yeah. He's very intelligent, this boy. So he say, "You need to say like that, not that. It's like that." I say, "Okay, I understand."
Some generational sharing, almost family literacy
Yeah.
within your
Yes.
home. Yeah. Well, Joan, you mentioned the family literacy program. So you're encouraging people to read to their children and for that interaction between parent and child.
Yes, and you know that starts really even in the womb. But we encourage parents to always have books in the home for their children to even watch them read and see them read. And then of course to read to your child and all of the things that surrounds literacy, you know, the finger plays and the nursery rhymes and things like that so oftentimes we sometimes take for granted.
Yes.
And if you hadn't been read to as a child or didn't have some of those same interactions, then you might not share that with your own child. So that's one of the things that we try to get across at our family literacy sessions,
Right.
is some of the things that you can do while reading with your child and to make reading exciting. And then we also do put hands in the books of the folks that need them. And in addition to our family literacy sessions, we do third Thursday book giveaway. So downtown each third Thursday, we get a lot of books donated to us, and adult books down to children's books, and we invite people to come by right in front of our building on third Thursday, and if they see a book that they would like or two, we want them to have it.
So sharing the love of reading with the community as a whole. You
Yes.
don't have to be a student to get a book
Yeah.
and to come to NALA and help out. So a lot of people looking for those books they can bring home for their children.
Right.
And take along those lines.
Like my son, he just come at NALA and took the book.
Yeah.
Now he has 3 books.
Good.
From NALA.
Good.
Good.
3.
Good.
Yeah.
So then those become very special for the youngsters too. They have that story, it becomes part of their
Yes.
life and sharing, and find that generations like to share those stories.
Yes.
You see children and parents sharing stories, working together. Well, we also hear a lot about, you mentioned being prepared for work. We hear about workplace literacy. Do you find that some people sometimes just say, I need to learn more so I can do better on the job, or I want to get a promotion, things like that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we have a Monday night ESL class that is studying English on the job. And a lot of that, it's not specific to a particular vocation, but understanding written instructions, understanding oral instructions, understanding how to give instructions, understanding how to receive instructions, and that it's okay to ask questions about that. but we also try to get the word out to businesses in the community to let them know too that if they have a population of maybe English as a second language employees
right.
that could benefit from improving their English skills, well, we're the place. So
they
that's
can
what-
refer them to you.
Yes.
Now, we had a slide just up there a moment ago. It was talking about citizenship classes. I don't know if I can go back to that or not, but that seems to be a new area of emphasis. And it says citizenships classes starting August 1st. This program may be still airing after August 1st. So tell me about this. We had an ongoing program.
Yes, it is an ongoing program. We have always done one-on-one tutoring for those that were interested in studying for the citizenship exam.
Right.
And because we've had an interest in that, we decided to move forward and make that into a class situation. So with the citizenship class, the students can study the civics portion of the citizenship test, and which is a series of 100 questions. But in addition to just preparing those 100 questions, they get a background in American government and American history and the things that go along with the civics questions. In addition, there's a literacy portion to the citizenship test, and it has to do with reading and speaking and listening in English. So they can work on that also through their English as a second language class.
So, Eleanor, do you work with students in ESL who say that's one of my goals? I want to pass that citizenship test. I want to be...
Periodically, I ask who is working or who has their, and I'm always pleased when somebody says, "I've already done mine. I've already completed it. That's good. That's good." It would not be easy to do.
For even those of you who've grown up in the United States, there's some
Right.
challenging questions,
Well,
right?
Yes. Yes. If you grow up here, you're much more inclined to be able to understand the civics part. But coming from another country, it would be like a different language.
Right. So a whole new understanding of being able to succeed and to work along those lines. So for the people who pass those tests, then they can go on to other opportunities in their careers, their occupations.
And they're able to vote, and they have all of the rights then that a citizen
Become a
has.
citizen,
Yeah.
right? So I imagine you've seen a lot of changes in students and progression over the years. And I guess, Wilson, from your perspective, seeing your wife and you said your mother-in-law, how you see how that's helped them taking the classes and going to NALA.
How it helped them?
Yeah, I mean, have you seen other people, benefit from NALA to kind of inspire you that I can do this too?
No, but I asked this question only this morning to my wife. She told me that she knows. I think the friend of her mother. She used to go to NALA too, so I don't really know. Only my classmate. Only my classmate, and we are a lot of students in NALA.
So your classmates, you help support each other? I mean,
Yes.
a lot of sharing. And does it help to know that you all may have those common goals? You want to learn more about how we measure in the United States in math, for
Yeah.
instance. So how come it works this way?
Yes. So we used to talk. Or we used to linger after the class. We talk each other and to know where to exchange the culture of our country, and I can learn from my friends too.
So do you find a lot of cultural exchanges through these classes? That you're learning about other cultures as well?
Indeed.
Now I know, having been involved with NALA, sometimes you actually have lunches or dinners where you share your cultures through food.
That's some of my favorite sharing.
So encouraging the students to kind of get to share those other parts of their life.
Yes.
And we've had a multicultural share fair in the past, and where we've gone out to middle schools and set up booths. The ESL students have set up a small display
Right.
of artifacts and maps and other maybe dress from
Representing
their
the country they're from.
and also they have presented speaking, has spoke to groups of students too. So we've had, not only do they share amongst each other, but they share out in the community.
So they're available if the community would like to learn more about where they're
Sure.
from. So forth. Well, Joan, I know earlier you mentioned the financial aspect, and you mentioned grants and supporting NALA. You do have opportunities for people to not only contribute funds, but in other ways to help you out as well.
Yes, and a lot of people don't know that we are not a government agency, so we don't fall under the umbrella of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So, like I said, we are a United Way agency, but we have our volunteer tutors, and we're always looking for other resources. So everything from copy paper, pencils,
Things it takes to run your operations. Right. And then the financial side, people can contribute through, I guess you have a website, which I don't know if we've shown the website link, but they can find out how they can help that way as
yes,
well.
and there's a place to donate on the website also. Yes,
So-
and the funding goes towards everything from maintaining the facility and having a safe environment for students to providing the books.
So there's a lot of ways people can help out, and of course, like any nonprofit organization, I'm sure the finances are always a challenge
Yes.
to keep things
Sometimes.
operating,
Yes,
keep things going along those lines. But you feel it's important to be able to offer these services without having to charge the students.
Yes.
Yes.
We think that literacy is really a right of everyone's, and so we want to provide the services at no charge to the students. But I will say, oftentimes, students are our donors, and they recognize the significance of the service and are able, and they make a donation of their own.
Well, of the years, the 35 years of NALA being in existence, I know you've touched a lot of lives in the community. And from the perspective of being a student, setting some goals for yourself, is important to be able to have this service for you in Joplin.
Yes.
And from a perspective of a tutor, your feelings when you finish with a class, knowing that maybe you've made a difference in someone's life that day.
Yeah, it makes me happy. Yes, very.
So it excites you, ready to come back for the next
Yes,
one.
it does. Yes, it does.
And Joan, as a program coordinator, I imagine there's always, opportunities. What else can we do? What else?
Yes, and we're always looking at ways to improve our program and other ways for students to engage in the program. So, starting the citizenship class was one thing. We had a kitchen reader where students and tutors alike shared recipes and the stories behind those recipes. We, like I said, are always looking at ways to improve and to get the word out there to serve more students. And just as an example of that, this year, program year, we had, I think, 182 students that came through our doors that took advantage of either a literacy program or our English as a Second Language program. And that number doesn't include those that we touch through our family literacy outreach. And that's up about 30 students from the previous year.
So you're seeing a growth
So
from the
we're
services
seeing-
provided. Right. And of course, we say Joplin NALA, but you are indeed a regional service for the community.
Yes, and you don't have to be from Jasper or Newton County. So we have students that come from Oklahoma.
Across the state line, come in
Kansas.
here and say, I need help. Great. Well, I'd like to thank the three of you for being here today on the program, sharing some information for our audience.
Thank you for
Thanks for having
inviting
us.
us.
And I'd like to thank you, the viewers, for joining us. I'm Judy Stiles. Hope you can join us again next week. We'll see you then.